Hi there, today is November 22nd, and today I want to talk about how incredibly blessed we are. Oh my gosh. I'm just looking outside right now, and the sky is blue, and there's just beautiful snow on these trees. And I walked outside yesterday, and it was like the fresh air just hit me. I don't know if I've ever smelled air that fresh before. And when I was at the gym, I was on my elliptical machine. I've got my favorite machine off to the side. And they had these beautiful garlands with Christmas balls on them, like outside in the mall hallway. And I was just like, I don't know if I've ever seen things so sparkly before. It's like I'm starting to just, it feels like I'm just coming out of my shell. And like I said, air smells fresher, the sky looks bluer. I feel just more peace and more joy. And it's interesting because we can just really see how blessed we are. And at the same time, we can also see like what a mess life has been. But what I'm here to share is it when you sift through it, there have always been blessings through the burdens. We've always been blessed through the mess. Ooh, I like that one. Yeah, we continue to be blessed through the mess. And yesterday, when I smelt the air that was so fresh, I was walking into UPS, which is where I pick up my packages and my mail. And I opened my mailbox and I saw this little white envelope, and I just knew what that little white envelope was. And I knew it was a letter from the cancer clinic. And it was a checkup appointment. And it was interesting because I was looking at the name of the doctor and I'm like, huh, like which cancer journey was this from? Was it from lymphoma? Was it from breast cancer? I'm actually pretty sure that it's from my first cancer journey, because of the doctor that is scheduling the appointment. And I was kind of like, huh, well that's interesting. But my point is, it's put me into this place where I've been thinking back through my journeys. And I feel like when we go through such a mess in our lives, sometimes we just forge forward and we don't really want to think about it again. And what I was thinking about this morning from this place of how incredibly blessed I've been was also like, holy fuck, I had a lot of really big disappointments through those cancer journeys. Like, I mean, first of all, I get divorced. You know, like I was diagnosed with cancer in 2018, and interestingly enough, the second I was diagnosed, I knew that God was telling me your old life is over. Like there were a lot of things that I was addicted to, that I really needed to heal, and I knew that this was my wake up call. And anyway, through that journey, there were just a lot of complications. Like my liver enzymes got so high. Well, first of all, they did the surgery. I was rushed into surgery, but they couldn't reach the second tumor, which meant that I obviously needed chemo because they couldn't reach that tumor. Otherwise, they would have, like, I wouldn't have had function of my arm anymore. So, anyway, through that chemo, there were 3 rounds of chemo, but through that time, my body was fighting it, and it was so bad. Like, it was so hard on my body that my liver enzymes got so dangerously high that I couldn't get any more chemo. And when I got that phone call, I didn't know what it meant really, but I knew that it meant I was probably going to die because if I couldn't get chemo, the cancer was just gonna kill me. Anyway, then I actually had the church pray for me, and I went to a pastor's house that night, and the pastors and some of the parishioners prayed over me. And the next day I went for my blood test, and the results came back normal, which meant I could continue with the chemo, which almost killed me after that, but then saved my life. So anyway, there's that. So there were a lot of complications through that. And then, then I was diagnosed with severe depression, severe anxiety. And then I just like started to feel better through that, healing, naturally in nature. After moving to a tiny cabin, after selling my home because I was financially broke, and just starting my business again, and then COVID hit, which meant I couldn't work because I did hands-on healing and breath work, and I couldn't do either. So there was that. And then I was meditating one day, and the voice in my head, God told me, go and check your breasts. And I'm like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And I did, and there was nothing that I could see. And then the next day it was like, no, go to the doctor and get this checked. And so the doctor found triple negative breast cancer. So very fast moving, very aggressive. Within a month, my tumor had doubled in size. But it was like I go through 16 fucking rounds of chemo, which is like totally insane. It's just, there were so many times that I didn't think I was ever going to wake up because it was so, I got so sick. And then, the surgery. And then, I was told, then I'm like, okay, I'm fucking done. This is great. And then I got a call from the surgeon saying, hey, we actually found another breast cancer when we did your operation, and we're recommending you get a or a mastectomy. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So then I decided, take them both. I don't care. I'm just done with this journey. So had that surgery, many complications through those surgeries, just so many complications. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. At least I'm done. And then I get the call that, you know what, we recommend you get 6 more months of chemo. And I was just like, what the fuck? How many more times can I get beaten down here? And I just made the decision, no, I'm done. I'm just done. And then I got the call that I needed, radiation. And I was like, I'm done. I don't care. I'm not doing anything more. So there was all of that. And then as soon as I started feeling better, I remember saying, holy shit. I went to a wedding with my mom, and I said, you know what, Mom? I feel like a fucking human for the first time in however that long that was. And just feeling better. And then my mom died suddenly the week after. So yeah, that's my story of holy fuck. Things just getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down and knocked down. So I could tell you the story from the perspective of life is fucking hard. Life fucking sucks. This is fucking bullshit. Because then after that, this year was actually the hardest year I've ever had. After all of that, this was my hardest year. But I'm speaking to you from a person that is so fucking grateful and so fucking hopeful for my future, and hopeful for the future of humanity and this world, and just faithful, so faithful, and trusting that there is a God that leads us and guides us and blesses us all the time, no matter